Good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting in just a few minutes, just waiting for everyone to join the meet. So thank you for your patience while we wait. Hello, Anna. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so I'm admitting people. Because parents don't have the Uniondale account, they have to be admitted, so it works a little bit differently. I'm sorry for getting on late. Somehow I managed to hook onto the wrong link. And I'm getting some feedback, so let me just, okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, I'm going to try to record this. Oh, it is being recorded. Okay, so that is working. Okay, so welcome parents and librarians. I see a lot of librarians. There's 20 people in here right now. Okay. And I wish I could make somebody a co-host because I'm going to get people clicking to come in. Let me just see if there's an option. Nope. Okay. All righty. So I'm just going to start by introducing myself and welcoming parents to this Google Classroom tutorial. My name is Anna Ritter, and I have worked in Uniondale since the year 2000. I was a library media specialist at Turtle Hook first, and then the Dean of Academic Services at Turtle Hook. And October 29th of 2019, I began as a Director of Instructional Technology and Library Media Services. So I started just in time because a few months later, we have this pandemic, which has turned everything upside down. So I hope to help you understand how Google Classroom works. It really is a very good learning management system once you know how to use it. So now that I've shared something about myself, I was hoping that you might be able to complete this scan the QR code, that little box there. If you put your phone camera to it, might take you into the link for this form. So if you try that, let me take a look and see. Let me know if it's working. Let me put it back in case you didn't get it. Is that link working? Were you able to get into the link? I can see some of you, so if you could.
It's working.
Okay. All right, excellent.
The link is down now.
The link is down?
It's not, I don't see it any longer.
I'm not displaying it. Thank you. Yes. So really, I want to get an idea of how many of you were able to look at the pre-video, how many parents. I am very happy to see that I have a few librarians on the call with me to help me manage. but I'm curious to know how many parents were able to watch the video. So far, the answers are coming in. So this is the magic of Google, that you can respond and the data is collected immediately. So we have a few people who are saying no, they haven't watched it, and a few people who have said 2 and 2, yes and no. Wow, somebody has lived in Uniondale for 57 years. It's a long time. 28 years, 2 years, 15 years. So thank you for sharing that information with me. What I wanted to do today was invite you to join a Google Classroom, but it's really very experimental because when you're at school, in order to protect our students from being invited and joining random people's Google Classrooms, everything has to be connected to the uniondaleschools.org account. So in order to give you the experience of being in a Google Classroom, I created a Google Classroom using my personal email. And like I said, this is experimental, so I'm going to go over to show you my Google Classroom. It's very simple. When you first go to Google Classroom, you can type classroom.google.com, and that works for all of the Google products. If you want to go to Docs, you type docs.google.com, and that's one way to get to Google Classroom. This is my work Google Classroom. I'm going to switch over to my personal account. So one way to get to Google Classroom is by typing classroom.google.com. Another way is to go into the grid or the waffle, and here you'll see all the Google products. These products can be moved around. So if you find that you're using Gmail frequently and want it accessible, you can move it around. I'm going to leave it here on Google Classroom. And here is the Google Classroom that I created for parents. I'm going to display the code, and this is what your child, when they first sign on with their username and password, this is what they'll encounter. Either they're going to get an email from their teacher inviting them to join, or the teacher will be able to display a join code so that they can join. I am not sure if you can join the Google Classroom from where you are, because I think you might have to have a Google account, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just going to go back so I can see some faces and get some feedback. And let me admit people who are trying to get in. Okay. The videos were attached to the directions that I posted. It was 2 short videos, one in Spanish, one in English. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my Google Classroom. So your child is either going to get a link like this that they're going to put in, or they're going to get an email. If the teacher has invited them, it could very well be that they're just going to go into Classroom, and then they're going to see all the classrooms here, and there'll be a little thing here that says join Google Classroom. That's how they would get in. So I can tell on my Google Classroom right now that I only have 1 student, so I can see that you have not been able to join, which is okay. I want to make you familiar, or help you to become familiar with Google Classroom. So I'm going to, let me look at how many responses I have. No, yes, yes. Okay, so people were able to view the video. Deirdre, you have a question?
Could you display the join code again?
Sure.
Thank you.
Deirdre, if you're able to get in, let me know how it works for you.
Yes, I'm trying now. I've got to switch my accounts.
Okay. And I'm going to let people in with the admit.
I am in as a student in your classroom.
Okay. So can you just tell us what you did so that parents can join? I would love for this to be interactive and for parents to get a hands-on feel of what it feels like to be in Google Classroom.
Okay, I'm using my phone. I do have a personal Gmail account. It is a Google account. So I logged into my personal account. And then I also have the Classroom app on my phone. which is a really good idea to download if you're not a user already. And once I was logged into my personal account, I was able to join a new class. And that's why I asked Mrs. Ritter to display the code. So I typed in the code and now I'm a member.
Okay, so if you have a Google account, you can go to classroom.google.com and add this join code, and it should allow you to join the classroom. So once your student joins the classroom, they're going to see a stream of information. So as the teacher posts information, it's kind of like Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook user, but somebody described it that way, and I could see it's a stream of information posted in the order that it was posted. Posted would be the best word. So if you notice up here, it says stream. The very, very important tab to go to is classwork. Classwork is where teachers are going to put all assignments and resources. If you look on the left, there'll be topics, and I created 3 topics for us: meetings, resources, and forms. I put some activities for you to engage in. Oh, excellent. I do have a few people that have been able to join. So if you go to the People tab, that's where you see your classmates when you're a signed in user. Okay? In addition, teachers can email students individually from here. Okay? So back to the classwork. I would like to show you some of the resources that are readily available in case you have issues with Google Classroom. So I created an activity so that you could see what your kids are going to go through. Let's click here. This is a quiz, and this is what I want you to notice. It says right here, due at 11:59 p.m. I guess it's overdue now, but that's okay. None of this really counts. So this says, please review the device concerns and prepare to take a 2-question quiz. I'm just going to go back for a second, just in case anybody didn't grab the code and wants to join. And let me let people in. Just because, okay, so now. So in this assignment, and it's automatically assigning it to the people that are joining. So right now I have 11 people are assigned this assignment because 11 people have joined my Google Classroom. I'm sorry, every time I hear the doorbell, I have to let people in. That doesn't happen if everybody's in the same domain, like our students and teachers will be in the same domain. That won't happen. So now I'm asking the student here, you are the student, to take a look at this link. Right? This is posted on our website. This tells you by school who to contact if you have a device concern. So what is a device concern? Your device is broken, your device is not working, you need a device. The people that are listed here are the people that the building has assigned to deal with devices. So this is really important information for you to have. So the student would look at the information, and then I'm asking for the student to take a quiz. So they're going to view their assignment. No, I did this wrong. Nope. This is my work, Google Classrooms. Hold on. We go back here. They're going to click on the form, and this is the quiz. It's a very short quiz. So if you would take the quiz, that would be helpful to me because I'd like to show you how it works. If you notice here, it's in English and Spanish. Who do you contact, excuse me, at Uniondale High School if you have a device concern? And this is worth 5 points. And it's a multiple choice, so you pick an answer. And then what is the first school listed on the form? So you can go back to the form and look for the answer if you're not sure. Student can submit their answers. I'm going to just randomly pick 2 answers. I don't know if I can even submit since I am, let's see, okay? And once you submit that, you can view the score. So unfortunately, I picked the wrong answers, and it's telling me that I got 0 out of 10, and it's marking it wrong. It's saying, sorry, try again. And here also, sorry, try again. So that's one of the advantages, is the instant feedback that we're able to get now. So now I'm going to try it again. Who do you contact at Uniondale High School if you have a device concern? Uniondale High School. That would be Dr. Jack Abramowitz. So now I can select Dr. Jack Abramowitz. And oops, this way. Who is the first school listed? It is Uniondale Pre-K, also known as Schubert. And I'm going to put that in, and I'm going to submit. And now I'm going to view my score. And this time, I got a 10 out of 10. So we'll go back to the classroom. Getting some feedback. Is there everything okay on this slide? I'm going to ask you to mute, please. Okay. And that's what happens in a classroom too. A teacher's teaching, there's some background noise. So we're asking students to mute themselves so that the teacher, obviously we are going to have, teachers will have students participate, but when the teacher is presenting or another student is presenting, then we'd want everybody to be muted. Let me go back to the classroom. Oh, again, I'm glad this is coming up because this is a frequent problem, a frequent sign-on problem for students. If you're signed into 2 Google accounts, as I am, I'm signed into my work Google account and I'm signed into my personal Google account. Sometimes it will revert to the account that you signed into first. That's the pattern that I've seen. And when you're in the wrong account, you cannot get to schoolwork. So my suggestion to you is to always make sure that you sign out of everything and then go into your account. I'm not going to sign out of everything because I need both accounts to be open. So I'm just going to toggle back to the school classroom for parents and take you back to the classwork. So that was that assignment. This assignment was the one that I posted at the beginning of the presentation, and the results to that are here. So the results are instantaneous, which makes feedback really quick and easy. It's really a very convenient way for teachers to communicate with students, immediate feedback.
Mrs. Ritter, should we hold questions for the end of the session or should we take the questions throughout?
If the question, I'll take a question to clarify. Okay,
there's a question in the chat from Janelle John. Will students be able to join their class prior to the first day of school?
It depends on the teacher. If the teacher has made it available, they will be able to, but it'll depend on the teacher.
Mrs. Ritter, I can share what Lawrence Road is hoping to accomplish, and I don't know if maybe other schools are doing something similar. Last year, when we were rushed out, and had to quick create our Google Classrooms, we created a Google Doc with a space for every teacher to post every one of their Google Class codes, and I shared that doc on our school website. That's how students were able to see it. So I believe that we're going to try to compile the same kind of list, before the first day of school. In addition, I heard that our teachers, once we get our schedules, the teachers are all assigned their schedules, they'll be able to see the names of the students in each of their class periods, and they can send that email invite link to those students in advance. So they might use those first couple of days of professional development to reach out by email to their students. So I would recommend to parents to check your school homepage to see if there's that list of class codes, if that building was able to put it together. And also to have your children sign into their Gmail accounts, their school Gmail accounts, and see if they've gotten email invitations from their teachers. It may not be every teacher before the first day, but to at least get a jump start, I think that'll be probably how we begin.
Good point.
Thank you, Mr. Pani. Mr. Pani is the librarian at Lawrence Road Middle School. I wonder, Mr. Pani, do you think those codes are still up?
The old ones? That's a good question. I think I may have taken them down. Oh, no, I had to take them down because of summer school. We didn't want to confuse everybody. They had different codes for summer school.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it was.
I think that was a good practice because it eliminated a lot of confusion. But
Yes.
honestly, if your child knows their username and password for Google, when they sign in, and if they go to Classroom, it will show them every classroom that they've been invited to as well. So we will post the information, but if they're signed in and the teacher has connected, which the teacher will be connected because, you know, the way the system works, the kids will be assigned, the teacher will upload the roster. It should really be a seamless process. But we're here to help you in the event that it's not, because technology is changing unbelievably quickly. I'm very good with technology, but it changes so fast that there's no way that I could ever keep up with the technology. So I'm just not afraid of it. I know nothing can break and, you know, nothing can go wrong. So here's this assignment all about you. I have, well, let me refresh the page just in case, because I've been talking for a minute. I'm going to go into the assignment. So I've had one turned in, 12 assigned, 13 students altogether, and 1 has been turned in. So this is what a teacher sees, and this is how a teacher knows whether a student has completed their work or not. I put some meeting information here. I do want to share with you that schools are having their reopening meetings, specific schools. This is posted on our district webpage, and it's in secondary and primary. Some schools are putting their links there already. So please do everything that you can to join these meetings. They'll be very informational as we try to figure out what is going on here. You know, how we're going to make this work this year. It is very challenging for all of us, parents, teachers, students, everybody. So I'm going to go back to classwork. I have meetings, I have resources, and we have forms. I was going to post some forms here that are going to be required each morning when you send your child to school. The government is requiring, just like staff has to report that they don't have a fever, that they haven't traveled, you know, to those states that have been identified. In addition, I have posted some videos, short 20, 30-minute videos that share more information about Google Classroom. I have to say that while, how do I get back? Where am I? Okay. While this is not ideal at all, the advantage of the video learning is that you can look at a video repeatedly when you don't get something. So I'll make those videos, you know, if you're not on the parent email list that I've been sending out to, please include your email here, and I will send all the resources out in case you're not able to join the Google Classroom. Okay. I'm going to take you through a technology quick guide resource that I hope will answer some of your questions. I will also send this to you. I want to recommend that you visit this website, wideopenschool.org. They also have a Spanish component. They have a ton of recommendations about all kinds of technology. So if you're a parent that's concerned about a game or a movie or anything tech related, this is an excellent resource. I've included our district website and every school website with the phone number and the link to the website. Please check the website as frequently as possible. There's a lot of good information posted there. Clever is the next topic. Clever is our SSO, our single sign-on system. And that is what's going to make, allow for students to connect seamlessly to all the different programs that we have set up. But you'll learn more about that next week. If you need some kind of help, who can help? If there's a problem with your child's username or password, if you click here, it'll bring you to a list of names by building that you can contact if your child's username and password isn't working. I'm going to recommend that your child sign into their Gmail account just to make sure that they still remember the username and password. And if they don't, I would say this is a good time before school starts to make sure that you have that information. If you have a device concern, that's a document that I shared before. My department is split into instructional technology and the physical technology. If you have a problem with the physical technology, that's here. Anything instructional is here, but I'm always available no matter what, for whatever question you may have. The school library media specialist, I'm a little biased. These are my favorite people. We have at the high school, Gail and Deirdre, or Ms. Limmer and Ms. Reddington. Ms. Trapani, who's at Lawrence Road, and Ms. Catalano at Turtle Hook. Mrs. Frost, Mrs. McCann. We are in the process of hiring a librarian for Grand Avenue. We have Mrs. Mullen over at Northern Parkway, and Ms. Froelich and Ms. Lee Casara. The librarians are also very helpful and can answer your questions and help you troubleshoot passwords if necessary. So these are the videos that I sent out to parents. I'm going to, I'll go back to the video if we have time, but I'm going to skip the video for now. The platform that we're going to use, the video platform, is what we're using right now, Google Meet. And I wanted to share some etiquette, some norms for when your child gets on Google Meet. So it's important to start off muted because all of the noise causes feedback and can be very awkward and uncomfortable. Students are going to be expected to report at the time that's on their schedule, so we're asking please to be on time. Attendance will be taken. We'd like everybody to be on camera. I know it's very awkward to be on camera. I'm not a camera person, but the new norm mandates that we communicate on camera. Like, of course, just like in regular classrooms, for students to come prepared. We'd like for you to find a quiet place to work. And of course, we're here to learn and have fun. So we want kids to have fun. Additionally, I've bookmarked some tutorials here and a playlist of videos that I've collected that are just for parents. We also have more resources, which we will add here because our librarians have worked since March to collect many, many videos. I'm just going to skip out to silence to mute somebody. Let me just see who. Okay, let me go back. So these are some excellent resources. Here is a tutorial about every Google program that you might have a question about, and these are all videos. So this is really very helpful. The other thing that we're trying to promote this year, because we are learning a new way to communicate, are some hand signals, so that when your child is in a meet and they're on camera, we're asking them to use some hand signals to demonstrate whether they agree or not. So it's going to take a little practice. Oh, see? So we're going to ask you, to help your child practice all of these. I'd like to add to the chat. I can paraphrase. There's a little video here that will walk you through the different hand signals. So if you can get your child practicing those hand signals, that would be very helpful. Digital literacy is super important now. This is the internet age. So to that end, it's really, really important that your child understand that they're leaving a digital footprint, right? It is super important that they realize what the importance of the things that they're posting can mean. So I've shared some resources at different grade levels here. And it's a form of games so that your child can practice different activities to help them understand. I know that people being irresponsible with what they post online has caused some serious problems for some people. So in some cases, people have applied for colleges, been accepted, then the recruiter does a search of the person's email account, and they find inappropriate things and the invitation is rescinded. I know of people who maybe rent apartments and they put the person's email in and they, search their digital footprint and, there goes that opportunity. So it's really important that our students understand the importance of being very mindful of the things that they put on the internet. Let me go back. That was the end of that resource guide. That is here in the Google Classroom.
Mrs. Ritter, can I interrupt with a question?
Please.
One of the parents wanted to know where they could find, all those videos and that, document that you were just sharing. And I hope I wasn't wrong. I said that you were either going to email it out to parents or post it on the district website.
I'm going to definitely post everything on the website, and I will email the presentation and all of the resources that I'm sharing to the email link that I have emailed invitations to. So if I do not have your email, please drop it in the chat and I'll be sure to add it to our email list. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see.
Also, if anyone has reservations about sharing their email address, I've put mine in the chat. Feel free to email me directly with your parent email address and I will add it to the list.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So essentially, this is going to be the platform. Every teacher will have their own subject level classroom. If grades are also part of this, you can see here, this is the teacher view, right? This is a student wouldn't normally see this, but I have 2 assignments that I've posted, and it tells me at a glance who has done the assignment. Thank you, Ms. White, for turning in your assignment, and Ms. Pena. So that's how it would look. The teacher can go here, view the submission, and then return the submission. And the grades would be available to the student. This is not the student view, this is the teacher view. I don't know, librarians, if you can speak to the student view for parents.
Sure. I actually was just going to say a little bit about the student view, but also what the teachers are kind of in the process of doing now. I've worked with about a little more than 100 teachers in the last couple of days to prepare their Google Classrooms for your kids. And I think all you really need to know is that the kids have to sign in with their Uniondale Gmail and go to Google Classroom. And we've been training the teachers to make some sort of notation on that first page, the one that Ms. Ritter mentioned looked like Facebook. Somewhere on there is going to be a reminder. It might be a clip art or it might be a post that says, don't forget the Classwork tab. That's where the kids really need to go. So when they click there, they will see a variety of, different kinds of assignments that need to be handed in. And the teachers are going to try really hard in the beginning to explain to the kids how to turn in each of the different kinds of assignments that may show up, throughout the course. But if they have questions on that, and if you have questions on that, please feel free to reach out to your librarians. But I had created a video last year that shows live what it looks like for students when they submit the 3 most common types of assignments on a teacher's class. And I think that's going to become really, really useful. I shared that video with our teachers and pointed it out to them that it looks a little bit different from the student's point of view versus the teacher's point of view. So they should become familiar with it as well. And they were all very appreciative of that because they don't often think about what it looks like for the kids. So now they are able to better explain to the children how to submit an assignment. I think that was the biggest glitch that came up last year. Parents were saying, my kid said he submitted it. Where did it go? The teacher didn't get it. Those kinds of things. I think we are trying, I'm trying to touch as many teachers as I can to make that as clear as possible. But that video, I think, will clear it up, not only for the teachers, but for moms and dads too.
So Paula, if you send me the link, I'll include that video.
Sure. You know what? I'll put it in the chat. Give me a second to dig it up, okay?
Perfect. Perfect. So let me go back to the assignments. Am I still presenting? Let me go back to my presenting.
Hey teachers, today when
Thank you. So again, it defaults to the stream, but the tab that's really critical, as Mr. Pani shared, is the Classwork tab. The People tab shows you how many people are in your class, but the Classwork tab shows you the things that, that are due. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything I can share here. Else, the other thing that will be connected also will be the student's calendar. So sometimes a teacher might schedule information on the calendar, or that's one way to join a Google Meet. Another way would be a Google Meet code that can be generated that'll be available here on the banner. Now, one of the things that I do want to share with you is that we are, Google Suite is a free for education product, but we have upgraded to a paid version just because we got more security and more features. So currently, it's called Google Enterprise. Google Enterprise is going to allow us to change our backgrounds. So when your child is home, if you don't want your background to show, it'll have a feature that'll let you blur the background or change the background. Currently, they don't have that feature. There are a few hacks that you can do. I wouldn't recommend any because I tried it at home and I wouldn't recommend a hack. I would wait for Google to do this. But if you're concerned with your background, I have a niece that teaches to children in China, and she actually takes a blanket or a tablecloth, or you know those dollar store plastic tablecloths. They're very light, so they can be taped up to conceal whatever the background is. So until Google says we're going to get the feature, but they won't commit to a date sooner than the end of September. So right now, by the end of September, we should have that feature, along with many features to make Google Meet more like Zoom. I don't know how familiar you are with the video platforms. Zoom seems to be the most popular, most convenient to use. Google Meet is a little more challenging, but it works well enough. So we're trying to be fiscally responsible and not spend money when we don't need a product. And right now, Google Meet is the product that we're going to go with. So it's 1:40. I'm glad to take any questions, or if any of the librarians feels like they want to add something that I missed, I would be happy to hear from anybody who has anything to share or questions to ask.
I just wanted to let you know, Ms. Ritter, I put in the chat, this is for everyone, actually, for the parents as well, but you said you wanted those specific links. The videos that I made, of course, there are 9 million other videos, you know, on YouTube about how students and parents can better navigate Google Classroom, but I made this one, you know, using our teachers' Google Classrooms as the jumping off point, so it looks familiar. You know what I mean? It comes from a Uniondale person, so maybe that would feel a little bit more personalized to you. I broke it down into 3 parts. The first part shows what Mrs. Ritter began the whole thing about how to join a class. So please take a look at that. That one is very short. Part 3 is also very short, and it shows you how you can show your students. And again, I've reminded the teachers how they can share this with kids before, you know, they let them loose, you know, in those first couple of days. How can you find out what work you have left to do? What's missing, what's overdue, what did you forget to hand in? There are a bunch of ways that students can double check that. And the little name that Google Classroom has given it is a to-do list. So the third video shows how to do the, you know, locate that to-do list to make sure you haven't missed anything. The second video, I apologize, it's about 20 minutes, maybe just under 20 minutes. So I understand it's a little bit lengthy, but I think it's important because, like I said, it shows students how they can submit an assignment if it is a Google Doc or Google Slide, a Google form, or if the teacher has not attached any document for them to type on and the kids have to create it themselves. A lot of kids got tricked by that last year. and teachers were receiving, blank work or no work at all. And there was a lot of, disgruntled kids and parents, because they said, but my kid did it. So that, I think, will clear that up. I think those links are really going to be eye openers for you if you've not seen Google Classroom from the student's point of view. And feel free to reach out to me anytime, if there's something that's confusing about it or you don't get it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to hear from the parents what concerns they might have or what was challenging last year. I also want to remind you that while we're sharing resources, Google is continually updating and changing their product. So it could be that something that we shared with you, they've already changed it and updated it, because that's how quickly the technology is being updated. So we just have to be patient and go with the flow.
We have some really good questions in the chat. Are parents allowed to join their child's classroom just to ensure that they are on top of their assignments?
So there's a feature called the Guardian, Guardian, I think it's just called the Guardian. If you go to the People tab, you'll see Guardian. And you can join by providing the teacher with your email, and it will give you different options. You can get weekly reminders or daily reminders. It depends on, your child. An older child might not need daily reminders. A younger child, you might want to stay on top of them. So there is a Guardian feature. We did not activate it last year, right? If I remember correctly.
I think we did.
We did?
Yeah, I think we did. And I think it worked pretty well. Not every parent email is automatically populated in there. So once your child is added to all these Google classes, if you would like to, like you say, stay on top of your child, you can't be a member of the class. Google Classroom won't allow that. You can't join the same way the kids do, but you can let that teacher know that you would like an invitation to become a guardian, and they will send you that invitation. It'll come directly from Google. I did it for my own son last year. And it provides really, like, at the end of the school day, like around 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I chose daily, but like Ms. Ritter said, it could be weekly. I got a daily summary of assignments that were still outstanding, that were, that he should have completed. So I think, that's really the best way for you to kind of, short of standing over their shoulder while they're working, I think that's the best way to stay on top of it. So have the teachers invite you as a guardian. And if the teachers don't know how to do that, they'll reach out to me or one of the librarians to figure it out.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question. Are we going to communicate with the school through this Google Classroom for parents, or is there other ways to know how our kids are doing in school? So I think that was answered with the Guardian feature, as well as, I guess, regular communication with your child's teachers.
Yeah, you can always email the teacher, and the teacher should respond within 24 hours. So the Google Classroom, obviously you can just look over your child's shoulder and see what they're doing and check the grade book. But especially at the beginning of this experience, it's important to stay on top of them, because then you can eliminate any errors, especially if they're submitting work blank, so that we can avoid those problems. Are there any other questions?
Yes. Someone said, Juliana says, I hope that all the links will be posted somewhere. I don't know how to get back into this chat when it ends. So right now you could copy and paste the links that are in the chat, or use the resources we have on our school's websites. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
I will be emailing everybody all of the information, and I will be posting all of the resources that we're talking about right now. The Tech Quick Guide, the videos from Mr. Pani, our website of resources for parents that we've put together. I will be posting that all online.
Okay.
So it'll be there for you.
Christina F. asks, do you know if schools will be hiring new teachers or paras in December?
I don't know. It's so hard. I feel like everything's unpredictable. We don't know. We just don't know what is happening.
Okay, Latif Groulan asks, when is school starting?
You know what? I'm sorry that I can't answer that question definitively, except to say it is scheduled to start September 2nd or 3rd. Last night's board meeting They presented the option of giving teachers an extra day of professional development. And I believe that decision was made, but I didn't get the information. So September 2nd or 3rd, probably September 3rd, probably.
Okay. And lastly, Natalia Amaya asks, so parents should email their child's teachers and with their own email so they could be added. That's a yes. You do want to share your personal email with your child's teachers. And will we be able to see all the submitted assignments or calendar in our own account, or must we use the kids' account to be on top of them?
Can you repeat that, the last part of that question?
I think what's being asked is, will they still need to look at their child's account to see all the assignments?
If they sign up as a guardian? So Paula, you want to speak from your firsthand experience?
You're on mute, Paula.
Gosh, I did. We could play Zoom bingo now. I did it. I did it. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, with my son, I stood over his shoulder. That was number one, because what was happening was I was asking him, did you sign into math? Yes. Did you do the work? Yes. Did you sign into English? Yes. Did you do the work? Yes. And it was all lies. So that needed to be fixed. So the first step was I stood over his shoulder. And not only did I stand over his shoulder, I made him give me his Gmail username and password. And so I was able to log in as him on my own, right? Because I couldn't join the class myself. That would be ideal. So I didn't have to, essentially, imitate my child. But what I did every morning before he woke up was I logged in to his Google Classroom. I prepared the to-do list. And then I would ask him at the end on the honor system, if he did it all, and he would invariably say yes. And then I would get the report that would say otherwise. And that's how we ironed out all the kinks. So once he realized that I could not only get these reports, but I could get in there and see what the assignment looked like by logging in as him, then he knew he couldn't get over on me anymore. So I would definitely, if your kid doesn't want to give up their username and password, reach out to the teacher and they'll give it to you. No problem. We get it.
Yeah, we will do that for you. Absolutely. Thank you, Paula. That's some good advice. Unfortunately, kids will say whatever they have to say in order to get out of doing work. It's like a natural response to work for whatever reason. So it is really important. And so that's one of the advantages with Google Classroom, is that you can check firsthand what they're doing. You don't have to just take their word for it. You're muted, Diego.
There you go.
Bingo.
Gail posted a link to some videos created by Paula, which are great resources. So if you haven't yet, please copy that link. You definitely want to look at it. As you can tell, Paula is very honest, and she's got a straightforward way of getting us to the point of what we need to know. Let's see. Maria Pena says, when will the students get their schedule, and how will they receive their schedules?
That's a good question. I've been told that the schedules are going to be mailed, but as soon as the parent portal is open, you can sign in and see your child's schedule. So that would be one way. And I would recommend that you sign into the parent portal. The Google Classroom gradebook is one set of grades, but the grades that will generate the report card, those will be in PowerSchool. So the teacher has to transfer the grades from Google Classroom to PowerSchool, or what they call Power Teacher. So make sure that you are looking at both of those grade books. We are trying to seamlessly integrate both of them, but at this point, we're not quite there yet.
Okay. From Hans Hedman, can my child share their calendar with my Google Calendar? Is all of their work posted to their calendar? Good question.
That is a good question. Yes, all their work is posted to their calendar. Absolutely. Any event or assignment that a teacher creates in any of the Google classes will appear in the child's Google Calendar. Can that be shared with yours? I'm not sure.
Can I chime in?
Yes,
okay, can I chime in? I don't believe that's going to be able to happen because student email accounts cannot email any account that's not a Uniondale Schools account.
That's true. To
So-
protect our students from outside people, you know, trying to sell them things or lure them, they're not allowed to receive outside emails. Paula, you wanted to say
Mrs. Ritter, can
Or
I ask a
send.
question? I'm just thinking out loud. My Google Calendar currently allows me to select my work email, my personal email, things like that. So I wonder if on the parent's device, like say it's mom's phone, they're probably signed in with their personal Gmail. I wonder if they can add an account in Gmail of their student's Gmail and then select that calendar to appear. Am I thinking of it the right way?
I think you might be right, but we'd have to try it. So
Right.
if you find in, if you, now of course you have to have a Google account in order to make this work. So here I have my personal account and my work account, and I'm in my personal account now. If you go down here, you can say other calendars and you can add calendars. So you can play around with these things. And you know what? We'll also work on figuring it out so that we can answer your questions in the future. But definitely, that's a great idea. I live by the calendar, so I hear you.
Okay, next question. Do you know if the school year calendar will be sent or posted to the district website? And I'm assuming that is the paper calendar, kitchen calendar.
Yeah, the calendar that's generally mailed to you or that you can pick up at your child's school is out to the printer. But as soon as I get the final copy from Ms. DaCosta, who's in charge of the calendar, I will post it, and I will also email it to all of the parents so that you can have it. You'll have a PDF version of it. Similar to how I'm going to send you the quick handbook guide, it'll be a PDF version. But all those links are, I don't think the calendar has any links, but if you get a PDF with a link in it, you can click it and it'll take you to the website. Thank you.
Okay, is Power School still going to be used? Yes, absolutely. Next question, how do I get into the parent portal? The parent portal is connected to Power School. I think the best advice would be to contact your child's principal and they'll point you in the right direction.
Additionally, you might, and I'll drop this link in, I'm going to put the URL in for Power School. This is the link. Go back to the chat where you can try and connect to your child's school records. Now, you will have to fill out a form. It may have changed. I used to handle this when I was at Turtle Hook. And it will prompt you to create an account that will be linked to your child's account as well.
Okay. Carrie Yildiz, you ask if there's a shortcut, and I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you want to add to your comment, Maison Zamor, how will the parents receive the schedule for 2nd and 4th grade California Avenue School students?
So the schedules are supposed to be mailed out, but again, if you can create the account, the parent portal account, that could be one way of seeing the schedule. At this time, though, the parent portal is closed to teachers and parents at this time. So I've been told that the schedules are going to be mailed out. If that changes, I'm sure they'll do like a school messenger call, or I'll send out an email with the information of how you can get the schedule. Or it might come to you, it might come to your child's email. That's what I would do to save the mailing costs. Send it out to students. So, oh, Ms. Yildiz wants to know about the Google Gradebook Power School. We are working on that, Ms. Yildiz. There is an app that works to sync both, and I am working with that right now to make it easier. So, okay. Any other questions? All right, I am happy that you joined us. I appreciate the feedback from the librarians because they are on the front lines really helping. And if it wasn't for the librarians' help, we would have not transitioned, even though it was hard. It was hard for all of us. But these ladies are knowledgeable and smart, and they love your kids, as do I.
We do.
So, We thank you very much, and I'm going to, I split it up so that the next session will be in español para esos padres que necesitan la presentación en español. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to stop so that I get 2 recordings. Otherwise, it'll just be one long 2-hour recording, which will be hard to upload. So I'm going to, we're going to have to disconnect. And I will see you at the next parent workshop, which is going to be on Clever. It's going to be pretty short because really, if your account is working, it's like magic. So, but it's a really important piece for you to understand. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me or call me. I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you.